Hello everyone, welcome to the day 6 of new Terraform series. So today we are going to discuss the one of the most important topic in Terraform, that is Terraform modules. So previously what we discussed in Terraform, like what is Terraform workspace, and we also discussed one real-time demo about Terraform workspace. If you haven't seen that video, please go and check it out. Okay, and it's better if you guys watch the complete series from day one in Terraform in my YouTube channel. Okay, so let's discuss about the Terraform modules. So basically, Terraform modules are the good solution for reusing and sharing the existing Terraform templates, right? So basically, Terraform modules is a set of configuration files present inside one folder structure. That folder structure you consider as a single module. Okay, and why we are going to use that, because everything we can write in main.tf is going to deploy, so why we can't write everything in main.tf, why we need to use modules. Okay, if let's say currently I'm writing one code for one template for aws EC2 instance here, then similarly I write one template for aws st bucket. That code you can get directly from the Terraform documentation, as we can see on day one video how we are using Terraform documentation efficiently. So but right now there are only two resources. What if there are thousands or hundreds of resources we wrote in Terraform.tf? Then it is more complex to manage all these resources, variables, their outputs. Okay, so that's why what we can do for that, just separate out the resource configuration across the modules folder, and so that our code is easy to read and manage. Okay, so uh, currently this main.tf, basically that main.tf is also one module. We called this at our child module. Okay, so let's quickly run first from our main module, that is child module. Then we create one directory called module, and inside that we separate out our resources. Currently I am just using 2 3 resources because it will be easy to manage them. Okay, so Terraform init. Yes, one more thing. So today we are also going to discuss about the very passing variables from variables.tf file and getting output in output.tf file. Okay, so just quickly create that files also. Guys, quickly create a variable.tf. Okay, now we have main.tf, output.tf, and variable.tf. So currently I am passing the variables directly inside code, which is not a best practice. Okay, so what if I wanted to use the AMI ID or the tag name here, a Cloud Hero prod or any other names again and again? Okay, so at that time I'm not going to write this repeatedly, right? So for that, what we can do, just create one single variable as a name, and that name we can use everywhere. Okay, so for that, okay, so I will create one name. Okay, so in variable name. Okay, and inside that I will select the default value as, and type as a string. Okay, so type for that variable name is string, and the default value as it a cloud hero 123. Okay, now in our main.tf, what we can do, we just directly call that variable here. Like so how to call a variable? Var dot name. Okay, so that var.name, once you, if you wanted to check how that var.name is pointing, so press control on your keyboard and hit left click, so it will send you to the variable.tf files and that variable name. Okay, so this is how. Similarly, we use this name for this tag also and for the bucket name also. Okay, so as you can see, we use single variables and provided it at a multiple location. This is how we can save the space, we can save the time, and we reuse the variable that we defined earlier. Okay, so next thing, next variable what I created is AMI ID. Okay, so again, variable AMI ID. Okay, and type string. Okay, just note it. And default value is from here. So var dot AMI ID. As you can see that AMI ID is variable is created in variable.tf. So similarly, you can create other variables for other values like this. Okay, so that one was the use for variables.tf. Then what about output.tf? If you wanted to display the output like the S3 bucket we created, but now you wanted to display the name of that S3 bucket or that instance name or instance ID you wanted to display at the end. So for that you can use output.tf. So how we are creating one output a variable, so for that you just need to type output block, hit enter, then you need to provide the name for that output, and in here you can provide the any name like AMI ID. I wanted to use that output. Okay, then inside that you need to provide the value. Okay, so in value you need to AWS instance a cloud hero dot id id. Okay, so that AWS instance cloud hero instance is created and the ID from that instance is stored in our output.tf AMI ID output variable. So next output variable we create like S3 name. Okay, and in that S3 name output variable we store the AWS S3 bucket and bucket name. Okay, so this S3 underscore name output variable prints the output value of S3 name. Okay, now let's back to our main.tf. As you can see, everything is created. Now we just use Terraform init. Now initializing successful, then hit Terraform plan. Terraform apply. As you can see, it's creating the S3 bucket and AWS instance. So S3 bucket creation is completed successfully. Now Terraform is going to create an AWS instance. It's in still creating state. So let me just log in directly to our console and let's type S3. Basically, S3 is a storage bucket where you can store your required files. So yes, as you can see here, our uh, bucket a cloud hero 123 is created successfully. Okay, let's quickly go to our instance because our instances is also created successfully. Yeah, once you click on instance, you will able to see same a cloud hero 123 instances created successfully and it's up and running. Okay, and now this is the a instance id that is created once instance got created successfully. That instance id we display as output. So let's check the output. So now you can see here the in outputs we define two output variables, that ami id output and s3 name, so that are created and the value is printed in front of it. So this is how you can create your resources using variables.tf and output.tf, because in main.tf if you define outputs and variables it will be more complex, so you can separate it out so that the code is easy to read and less complex. This is how you can create the resources. But now what I wanted to separate out that resources. Okay, so what we can do, we create one folder structure modules. In that module folder structure we can create the module separately, like one module for ec2, one module for s3, and there is a one module for vpc. So currently we just use two models like ec2 module and s3 module. So let me just quickly copy our let me first destroy the resources and we can move ahead. Okay, now uh, okay, so we create one module called ec2, and let me just copy our ec2 code inside ec2 main.tf. Okay, great. And for s3 just copy the code from s3 and paste it in our main.tf. Okay, now in variables you need to create the variables. Okay, we created the variables, and now you wanted to pass the that variable values inside your resource. Okay, so what we can do, we just directly get that name variable from here, variables, and I will paste here only. Okay, so name is a cloud hero 123. Okay, so in our main.tf for that ec2 we just use variable ami id. Okay, and name as a var name. Okay, so that variables are for this ec2 model, variables are defined inside that variable dot tf, and in output we are displaying the instance id. Okay, id. So aws instance or cloud hero id. So this will print as a output. Now in for s3 we also name variables like main.tf and variables like name. So for that we just use the bucket name. So here also I'm just printing one value from our variables.tf, that is a cloud hero. We will store in our variable, this bucket name, and we use same bucket name for tag also, so we don't need extra variable here. Okay, now in main.tf we are using var dot bucket name, and for tag also we are using same variable bucket name. Okay, now our s3 module is also ready and our ec2 module is also ready. So let's back to our root module. Now this ec2 module and s3 modules have their separate configurations files with output.tf, variables.tf, right? So okay, so in our main module we just comment all these things because we already created them in our uh, separate modules. So how to call one module? Okay, let's say I wanted to call one module. Let me take one name like s3 underscore module. Okay, this is the name for our s3 module, and we wanted to call that module. For that we need to provide the source location for that module. So where that module is present, that module is present in my current directory under module folder with the name of s3, and my ec2 module is same like under the module folder with the name of ec2, and that s3 module with the name of s3. Okay, so this is how we are calling the module. Now in our main.tf, as you can see, we have only this much of code. We just calling the modules here, and once we hit terraform init, now we hit terraform plan. Yes, and then terraform apply auto approve. Now in main.tf we provided the two module structure. So uh, s3 module and ec2 module are going to create, and that models we are defining under ec2 and s3. Okay, that from module section s3 module is going to create, and from ec2, from module section ec2 instance is going to create. Okay, our s3 bucket creation is completed. Let's me directly go to the our aws dashboard and see here our instance is still in creation state. Okay, and s3 bucket, yeah, s3 bucket is also created. Okay, as you can see, time is current time 11:26. Okay, so now this is one thing. Now if you wanted to like create only one resource, let's say in our module folder we have ec2 instance, s3 and vpc modules are present, but out of which you just wanted to create only s3 bucket, not vpc, neither ec2, right? So in that case you just need to use target flag. For that, during terraform plan you need to provide the target flag with module and dot module name. Okay, and hit enter. So it will plan only for s3. Then you can hit apply button with same target flag, so it will create only s3 bucket using that module. Rest will not create. Okay, now we hit terraform apply. Let's quickly go to our s3 bucket. As you can see, no a cloud hero name bucket was present here. Just wait for some time. As you can see here, it's going to add only one resource, and it's creating s3 bucket. Apply complete, only one resource is added. So once you go to our aws console and refresh this page, you can see only a cloud giro 1 to 3 bucket is created, but uh, Once you hit a refresh phase for instance, other instance was not created because we just provide a target flag with module name s3 bucket. Okay, so this is how you can create only specific module, and if you wanted to destroy only specific module at that time also, you can use destroy terraform destroy command with same target flag. So it will delete only targeted resource. As you can see, the resource is destroyed and our s3 bucket got deleted. Okay, so this is how the modules works. So let's quickly discuss the agenda for next session, day 7. So in day 7, we are going to discuss about the functions in Terraform. Okay, so this is the only topic that we are going to discuss in day 7. So that's it guys for today. Hope you guys like this session. Thank you so much.